Hello, everybody. Today I will talk about another topic of how to satisfy clients as a software engineer. Now, when I'm talking about clients, I mean two types of things. If you're working in a company, your client will be your product manager or the whoever is the overseeing the product development. Basically, it's highly unlikely that you are the only person that cares about the product. If that is the case, then you are in trouble. So I hope that you have some form of product manager or product developer with whom you have to communicate continuously to understand what to build next, because there are a million possibilities for every product in the history of the products. So how do you satisfy them? Or if you are working as a freelancer or remote developer or in whatever format as a contract developer, your clients are basically the person, in most cases, who is a non-technical person who wants to build something, and you are building that for them. So as I work in TopTal, I had the opportunity to work with many clients directly, both in company setting and on individual client level as well. And in my experience, what I've seen is satisfying the clients hardly depends on your technical skills. It's not about your technical skills. I am sure you have heard it a lot of times, but it's really the truth that it has almost nothing to do with your technical skills. So the first thing for satisfying clients, I would separate that into three buckets or three phases of satisfying the clients, and then I'll add one extra layer on top. So the first thing is you have to listen to them. So it often happens before you are starting the project. So let's say somebody contacts you on LinkedIn or in Gmail. They have an idea, they want to build something, and they want a meeting with you. The first thing to do is listen to them, listen to their idea. 50% of the time, whatever they are saying will be pure bullshit. They don't have any idea of how to build a product. You will feel that, okay, this is such a stupid idea, this shouldn't be built in this way, this shouldn't be built in that way. But you have to come out of that arrogance, because it's very natural. You are the person who is expert at building products or building a software, not your non-technical clients. So it's very natural that they don't know. And it's very important to hold yourself and not suggest or trying to suggest them or not trying to tell them what's right and what's wrong. The first step is always listen to them, what they're trying to build, what is their vision, things like that, and accept everything. Like, all right, I want to build this. You will say, all right, okay, let's hear more, let's hear more. Ask clarifying questions. Maybe they don't know how to express their thoughts. Instead of stopping them, ask clarifying questions to get more details out of them. Show them if there is any limitations, not like we cannot build it, but show them how we can build it differently. That's the first step, and this is the most important step, because this happens during the interviews usually. So the clients want to understand, they want to work with someone who will listen to them. They can hire anyone, especially in this job market. There are hundreds of options to choose from. So whatever they want to build, they can build it through someone. But why would they choose you? Because you have to be the person who listens to them, not because you are the most technical person, because I'm assuming you already have some technical knowledge. That is the first step. The second step, the second thing that I think is very valuable when you are talking with them, is offer them something extra. So let's say you have had the initial conversation with them, they are happy with you to proceed with, and you start building the project, you start working with them on a day-to-day basis. Of course, you will be giving them an initial estimation of how much time it would take or things like that. During the project, always offer them something extra, like, all right, when I was working on this product, I think we can build this thing as well. Maybe it's an additional feature, maybe it's an improvement over the architecture or improvement over the user experience. It can be anything, because when you are working on the product, it's valuable for you to think about the product as well, not because of the client, but as an engineer, we all should grow some product sense. So discuss with client, discuss what are the possibilities, but always give them choice. Don't say things like, okay, I was building that and I think we should build this, so I'm building this. No, don't do that. Even if it's a useful feature, the clients always want to stay in control, and it's your job to keep them in control, but help them steer the ship. That's your job. Your job is not to control the project, because at the end of the day they are the owner of the product, but you should steer them in the right way. So always offer them different options, like, okay, I think we can do this in 3 different ways, these are the pros and cons, which one do you want me to work on? So that is a very important thing. This ensures that after the project starts, the client is always confident in you, they trust you, and this is how trust is built, not by letting you do things on your own, but you telling them that, okay, we can do these things, but it's your choice. And over time, often what will happen is they will start to trust you so much that they will just leave it to you. Like after 2 or 3 iterations, they will just tell you, what do you think is the best approach to go with, and they will let you decide. So that's how you have to work on that trust piece during the engagement. So that's the second key thing. The third key thing, so even if you don't do any of those, and the above 2 are kind of abstract, you can't understand, you're not sure how to do it in with your client or things like that, this is a very easy thing to do. Always over deliver. Always try to over deliver. What do I mean by over deliver? There can be several things. So the first thing is the amount of output. Like they have asked you to build a website with 2 pages, but you have thought that, okay, we probably have a contact page that is very standard in all other websites, you add that too. That's the form of over deliver. Another form of over deliver is based on time. So if it's a freelancing type of project, most of the projects are based on the amount of time you take. So if you promise them 4 weeks, try to deliver it in 3 weeks. Keep the last week for polishes or additional ideas, bug fixes and things like that. Or it can be a standard thing that maybe the client isn't aware of. For example, if anybody asks you to build a website using Next.js or anything, there are some additional things we should always do which are beneficial for the client that the client don't even know. For example, you can add Google Analytics, right? You can work on some SEO improvements. Maybe the client doesn't even know that something like SEO exists. So add some SEO improvements, add some analytics, add some page performance optimization, things like that, and tell the client that you have done this, and enable them to use those as well. For example, introduce them to the analytics dashboard, things like that, SEO dashboard, things like that. So this is the easiest way to satisfy the clients. Always, always, always over deliver. So after all of these 3, so at the end of these 3, I can tell you, at least in my experience, 99% of the time the clients will either leave you a very positive review, or they will continue coming back for more and more. Because think of yourself from the other seat. So if you were the client, would you want to work with yourself? Would you want to work with someone who over delivers, or who promises some things but takes 1 week extra? Maybe that's for a valid reason, but still, if I promise 4 weeks, I should do it in 4 weeks regardless of whatever happens. Maybe I should do it in 3 weeks. Everybody likes those persons. If you tell that, okay, I'll be there at 5 p.m., if you go there at 4:55, people will by default like you. So that is a very simple thing to do. And as a client, when you think of yourself as the client, you can clearly understand how you can satisfy other clients as well. On top of that, I told you that apart from these 3, so just to recap, the 3 things that we talked about is always listen to them, offer something extra, and always over deliver. There is one extra thing that you absolutely need to satisfy the clients is communicate. Always, always, always communicate. Good things, bad things, because this is an error, or this is a problem that I had in my initial career. I always thought, okay, I am facing a problem, should I tell it to the client? Maybe it doesn't even mean anything to them. Maybe it's a technical problem. they don't have anything to do with it, still share it with them, not in details, not in technical terms. Share that, all right, hey Tom, I'm working on this, I am facing some form of package dependency issue, I'm still working on it, we'll keep you posted. That's a very simple form of update. If you do something, let them know, hey Tom, I have finished doing this part of the project and my next steps are this. So always give them clarity of what you are working on right now and what will be the next steps. Clients don't want to guess, they have hired you so that you can reduce some cognitive load from their head. The better you can do it, the better developer or the better person you are in terms of delivering these software projects. So these are some things that I want to or I try to maintain, and I'm still learning, of course. And let me know if you have any other ideas as well, like how to how when you are working with clients, what are the techniques that have helped you the most. But these are some of the things that I have seen in my life that helps the most when I'm working with clients. One last question might be, why would you listen to my words? So I have worked with many different clients over my career, especially when I'm working in TopTal. I have multiple clients at a time in some cases, and so far I have received overall positive reviews from my matchers that almost all of the clients have, and it was evident in many clients they have wanted to work with me even after the project has ended in many cases. So that's why I wanted to share these thoughts with you, and I think it will be beneficial even if you are doing a job, freelancing or whatever. Thank you so much for watching. If you have seen this far, please consider subscribing and liking the video, and yeah, have a wonderful day. Thank you.